Maayong hapon sa tanan. Mga kaigsunan nga naa diha sa ilang tagsak-tagsak kapanimalay. Og daygon nato ang Ginoo niini nga pribilehiyo nga iyang gihatag kanato diin gihatagan kita sa kahigayunan sa paghiusa nining tunga-tunga sa simana aron sa pagsimba o pagdayeg sa atong buhi nga Dios. Hinaot nga anaa kamo sa maayong panglawas uban sa kaluoy sa atong Ginoo. Mga pipila ka mga pahibalo alang kanato ang atong pagsimba, mga padayon sa tunga-tunga sa simana sa Midweek Service alas 4:30 sa hapon o ang atong pagsimba matag Domingo alas 10 sa kabuntagon. Anaasab kita evening prayer or Friday evening prayer matag alas 9 sa gabi. Kung aduna kamoy mga prayer request, ayaw kalimot sa pagpadala niini, pag-text kanako or diha sa church office aron maabil nato sa atong pag-ampo sa matag Biyernes. Usab gipahinumduman ang atong mga kaigsunan nga aduna kitay prayer habit kauban ni Pastor Sherry matag Sabado alas 6 sa buntag. Online gihapon kini dinhi sa atong simbahan. So hinaot nga maka-apil ka mo niini kay kabalo ako nga gimingaw nimo sa atong mga kalihukan sa iglesia labi na atong prayer habit group. So welcome o hinaot nga dili ta magmakuli sa pagbadayon sa atong pagsimba o pag-alagad sa atong buhi ni Dios. Magpadayon kita sa atong online worship until further notice. Hangtod na makita na aduna natay pwede nga mahimo aron nga ma-stop or mapuga nato ang pagkalad ni ining COVID-19. So pahibawon ka mo sa iglesia kung magsugod na kita sa atong pagsimba. For the meantime, nagaandam ang atong iglesia sa pagbutang o mga paske hindi sa mga lingkuranan kanang para sa social distancing. Mag-andam kita sa atong footbath o uban pa nga mga andaman niini. So siguro mga July magasugod kita pero dili pa na siya ang final. Mahibawon lang kami niini. Andaman karon nato ang atong mga kaugalingon diha sa atong pagsimba sa atong buhi ni Dios. Awitig mga pagdayeg ang Ginoo kamo nga iyang buotang katawhan ug pasalamati siya sa iyang nahimo kay ang iyang kaayo mulungtad hangtod sa kahangturan.
Pagkaanindot nga kitang tanan mag-aawit ug maghimaya sa kahalangdon sa Dios. Isang yawta ang katingalahang buhat niya sa matag usa kanato.
Oh yeah.
among hunahunaw kasing-kasing, aron mabati namo ang imong presensya. Tandukaw hagita kami sa pagtawag mo kanamo. Hinaot nga alagaran kanamo diha sa espiritu ug kamatuoran. Kihalad namo ang among mga pagdayeg ug mga pagpasalamat tungod sa imong gugma ug grasya sa ngalan ni Kristo Jesus. Amen.
Ilang kanamo o Dios nga tinubdan sa tanang panalangin. Tanang butang nga maayo nagagikan kanimo ug pinaagi sa imong grasya ang maong panalangin na padangat diha kanamo. Apan sa kanunay among giangkon nga ang maong panalangin gikan kanamo ug walay kalabutan ikaw niini. Nahimo kaming mapasigabuhon ug hambog. Pasayloa kami, O Dios. Muduol kami kanimo sa pagpadayag sa among tagsa-tagsa nga kalapasan.
Mga igsoon ko atong timaan, nga atong Ginoong Dios, may gugmaon ug maluluyon, ug kanunay andam sa pagdawat kanato ug paghatag sa iyang kapasayloan. So salamat sa Dios sa iyang kaayo nga naghanap. Magampot ta. Gracious and loving God, we offer thanks for this day and for the opportunity of worshiping you, even in these new normal times. During this time, O God, may we be able to put aside the concerns of our daily lives, let go of all the demands that crowd upon us, and simply be present here to your spirit and your words. May we be still and know that you are God. We offer to you prayers of thanksgiving for life and all those things that make life good. Help us, dear God, as well as we seek to make this good earth a safe home for all your people. We confess that though your earth is abundant, many of your children live in poverty and want. We know that this is neither your will nor your purpose. Sustain us with the gift of hope as we work to do your will, so that all people might share fairly in the good things of your creation. We bring to you our concerns, O God, especially for peace in our community and the whole world. We pray for healing. We also bring our concern for the family and loved ones, to those who are grieving. Comfort and strengthen them, dear Lord. To those who are suffering from different illnesses, we pray for healing and recovery. We bring bring our concerns for continued violence all over the world, in whatever form it takes. We also bring our concerns for the homeless, those who are victims of violence, and those living with fear. Oh God, we also bring to you our personal concerns for ourselves and for our families. We continue to pray for healing of the world as we continue to face these unseen enemies of the world, this COVID-19. In all these things, dear God, we ask for strength to face the hard realities of the world, not to despair, but to stand with vulnerable, the victims, and those who live on the margins of life. And amidst our concerns, we bring to you our joys and thanksgiving for the gift of life as your children celebrate their birthdays and their wedding anniversaries, and even for answered prayers like healing and comfort. Dear God, be with us today. Be with us this afternoon as we worship and gather together in your presence through this online service. Come and unite us through your Holy Spirit. And please hear our prayer, dear one. Amen and amen. Alang sa basihanan sa atong pagpamalandong nining kahaponon, pagbasahon nato ang Ebanghelyo ni Marcos, Kapitulo 4, versikulo 35 ngadto sa 41. Og nianang pagkagabii, giingnan ni Jesus ang iyang mga tinun-an. Manabuk kita sa lanaw.
Busa gibiyaan nila ang panon sa katawhan, ug ang mga tinun-an misakay sa sakayan nga gisakyan ni Jesus ug nagkuyog sila. May ubang mga sakayan usab dito.
Unya, may huros ang usa ka kusog nga unos ug tungod sa dagkong balod, nasudlag tubig ang sakayan ug hapit kini mapuno.
Apan natulog sa Jesus nga nagunlan dito sa dapit sa ulin. Gipukaw siya sa mga tinun-an nga nag-ingon, magtutudlo, wala ka ba mabalaka nga hapit naman kita malunod?
Mibangon si Jesus ug iyang gipahunong ang hangin ug ang mga balod iyang giingnan. Hunong ug maghunong ang hangin ug mibanos ang talingan.
Unya mingon sa Jesus kanila, nganong nalisang man kamo, wala ba kamoy pagsalig?
Apan hibulong sila pag-ayo ug nagpangutan-anan. Kinsa man kining tawhana nga bisan gani ang hangin ug ang mga balod mutuman man kaniya. Dinhi natapos ang pagbasa sa balaang kasulatan. Usa ka video clip nga gi-send sa akong Facebook as a messenger mahitungod sa usa ka bata nga buta nga nagpalimos diha sa daplin sa kalsada. Tapat niya kining signboard nga nag-ingon, "Please help me. I am a blind poor boy." Ang mga tao, wala kaayo magpakabinet ni ini. Ang uban, nga tagamay nga coin, Later, ana nga adlaw, usa ka tawo ang nilabay. Nihunong siya, din nihatag siya og mga coins. Ibutang dito sa kalok sa bata. Apan aside na siya gihimong lain. Iyang giilisan ang mga words nga gibutang atong board nga gibutang sa gihimo sa bata. Awdi sa iyang lapin. Then, nilakaw siya. A few moments later, natingala ng bata, kay na may mga daghan naman ang hatag o coins. Diha sa iya ang butanganan, nabating niya nga nagkadaghan. And a lot more people than usual noticed the boy. Ang uban gustong mutabang kaniya. Natingala siya kaayo niini. Sa unsa kay nahitabo no? Nga pila naman ko kaadlaw kaning mga tawhana di man ko panambalingon. Apan sukad nga niabot kadto nga tawo, nagit siya gihimo. Kay nga nang ningon ani man sila. That next day, same nga tawo, nihunong na po dito. Gusto niya makita kung nabay changes na nahitabo sa kondisyon ni atong bata. Kaning bata, although di man siya makakita, pero nailhan niya ang footsteps ni atong tawo. So, paghunong sa tawo, ingon dayon siya, "Sir, unsa may imong gibuhat kagahapon?" Ingon ang tawo nag-smile, nagpahiyom ug niingon, "Wala man ko'y gihimo, pero nabitaw. Na ko'y giusab diha sa signboard nimo sa imong tapat." Insya, unsa man? Akong giilisan ang imong signboard, giilisan nako, "Today is a beautiful day and I can't see it. Nindot karon nga adlaw, pandili ko kakita." Ingon ang bata, "Sir, pareho raman ang meaning ana. Apan nganuman nga katong imong gisulat, mas nakaikag man sa mga tao pagtabang kanako." Ingon dayon ang tao, "Tama ka. But the first sign simply told them that you are blind." Buta ka. Mura pwede mo. The second sign made them aware that they weren't blind. Dili sila buta. The boy understand it well. Maigsuon, matud pa, you don't value a thing unless you don't have it. So value even the tiniest blessings in your life before it's too late. Live, love, and smile to enjoy every moment of your life. As every moment that passed can be a great opportunity. So always help someone. You might be the only one that does. Do good to others. It will come back in an unexpected ways. That is what we call faith in the service of the people. Magampot na. May the meditation of my mouth, O God, be acceptable unto thy sight. My God and my Redeemer. Amen. Kining istorya or sugilanon nga hitungod ni Jesus sa iyang pagpahunong ni atong unos. Familiar na atong tanan. Pirmi ning balik-balikon, masayon man siya balikon diha sa atong Bible study, diha sa mga reflection. This is also told in the 3 synoptic gospels. Diha sa Matthew, sa Mark, and sa Luke. Ang sugilanon talks about Jesus teaching near the Sea of Galilee. And afterwards, he was exhausted. So he decided to take a boat with the apostles to the opposite shore to rest. So the context is Jesus and the disciples were in the boat. Ang iyang mga kauban, mga eksperyensyado nga mga fishermen. Kabalugid sila sa lake very well, and so they wouldn't have gone out if they had thought for one moment what will happen. Kabalo sila kanus ang unos mo abot. So, wa sila kabantay nini. And pag ingon ni Jesus nga motabo, they were sailing across the lake. But all of a sudden, a storm came without warning. They were scared for their lives. They think they are about to sink. And in the midst of all the problems, Jesus stays asleep at the back of the boat. Kung baga, murag wala lang. Kumasabta nato si Jesus. As I said, he was exhausted. There were so many demands on that day on Jesus to teach, to heal, and to show compassion and loving kindness sa matag tao nga iyang maduulan ug makita. Hour after hour and minute after minute. So much was demanded of Jesus. So it's not surprising that when he eventually gets some rest, he would fall into a very deep sleep indeed. Sama na nato. Diba? Kung kapuyon pa kaayo, bahala na kasumbagay nang nasa atong daplin padayon tang hagok. Kagi kapuy. So in the fear of these fishermen and their anxiety, giuyog nila si Jesus. And they even shouted. Other version said they shouted. They shook Jesus hard and shouted, "Master, Master, we're about to die. Hapit na ta mamatay." This other version, nag-ingon siya, "Magtutudlo, wala ka ba mabalaka na hapit naman ta malunod? Don't you care?" Relax lang si Jesus. Kaya imagine ko nga relax lang siya. Nitindog o iyang giingnan ang hangin o ang unos hunong. Ni hunong ang hangin o mibanos ang kanina. A great calm comes upon the waters. My dear friends, let's ask, what is the significance of this calming the storm of Jesus? Alam ka na to. First, this revealed the true humanity of Jesus. Kanina sigilan, nagpadayag sa tinuod na pagkatawhanan ni Jesus. He often took time. Part ni sa iya ang kinabuhi. Took time to rest after a long day work. So during the storm, Jesus was sleeping. Jesus was in the stern asleep on the cushion. Tinuod yun siya nga tao. Sama ka nato, na siya basic na needs sa panginahanglanon. Like rest, food, shelter. Matter pa, Christ's humanity is part of what qualifies Him to be our merciful intercessor between us and God. The Bible tells us how important it is that Jesus was fully human. Aron niyang mabati, iyang nasinati, ang nasinati usab sa iyang katawan. Matod pa, for this reason he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become merciful and faithful in the service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people. That's in Hebrews 2:17. Ikaduha, nga atong makita, this reveals the true divinity of Jesus. This passage not only reveals Jesus' true humanity, but also Jesus' deity, because only God can make the winds and the water obey. He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." And then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. With one quick word from Jesus, the storm stopped, and the sea became calm. When Jesus calms the storm and the sea is still, it symbolizes that God can still the chaos and disorder of our lives, or in our lives. Jesus rebuked the storm, which is an illustration of the divine power of God at work in the world. That's why the apostle marveled at his powerful display of Jesus' supernatural ability over the elements. They were terrified and asked each other, "Kinsa man ni?" Even the wind and the waves, or bisan gani ang hangin ug ang mga balud, mutuo or mutuman man kanina. My dear friends, this can be very comforting to all who experience the trials and tribulations in life. Because if Jesus can calm the storm of the sea with one word, I am sure Jesus can calm the storms of our lives as well. When Jesus gave orders to go over to the other side, I knew for sure he knew the storm was coming. Remember, Jesus is omniscient, all-knowing. Even with the storm brewing, he decided to launch out to the sea. Remember this, my dear friends. The Lord never promised we will never see a storm in our life. As a matter of fact, he has told us to expect trouble. But you know, the good thing is, Jesus has promised that he will be with us in the storm. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. That's in Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Yes, he will never leave his children alone in the midst of trouble. With perseverance, they will overcome. Third, let's look at the fishermen and their attitude and their feelings. They were frightened by the storm to the point of fearing they would die. The waves were breaking into the boat so that the boat was already filling. I think the apostles lacked one thing, that 100% faith. These things reminds us that even those who live and walk with Jesus, like these apostles or disciples, they saw the miracles and heard Jesus' message, but still they found it difficult to be 100% faith-filled all the time. Kulang ang ilang pagtuo. I'm sure many of you remember this very familiar film a few years back entitled The Forrest Gump. This great film about a young man with learning difficulties, but happens to be profound and wise person. Na siya'y matud pa diha sa mga catchphrases nga famous diha sa iyang pag-istorya. Matud niya, Mama always used to say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And I think there is real truth in that. Is it there? Because, my dear friends, life is so unpredictable. We don't know what surprises lie in store for us from day to day and moment by moment in our lives. Good things in life take us by surprise, and we celebrate those moments with joy. But sadly, difficult times creep up on us when we least expect it. I know that we don't expect COVID to disrupt our plans and our freedom and create chaos all over the world. What ta mag-expect ano? Daghan plano. Kami personally sa team, daghan big plano, putol tanan. Well, the disciples were a lot like us, my dear friends. However, their lack of faith was rebuked, and so is ours. There are times in our lives when we feel at the mercy of the storm, when we feel as if our lives are as chaotic as the buffeting ocean. But if Jesus was able to rescue the apostle from the storm, as I said, I'm sure Jesus is able to rescue us from the storms of everyday life. Perhaps a financial crisis, an illness, job loss, marital problems, poverty, disunity, even relationship, bereavement, and many, many more. Sometimes in life, we also feel as if Jesus is asleep in the back of the boat. It seems as if He doesn't hear us no matter how loud we shout in our prayers. Even how many times we kneel and cry, asking for God, but it seems He didn't hear us. But my dear friends, let us remember that when life seems tough or when we see the suffering of others, God is there. We need to be persistent in our prayers. We need to keep calling on the Lord in our most difficult times. Because in our persistence, we believe that the Lord does hear us and will rebuke the storms, and the chaos of our lives will be stilled. Yes, my dear friends, we're flooded by numerous types of storms daily, including this COVID-19. These storms are both internal and external. And right now, at this very moment, many can relate to the disciples' emotions when Jesus calmed the storm. Like the disciples, fear is coming out of many people's heart. It's an emotion common by being human. Yes, it's true that the disciples were just being human like us. All of us during this pandemic are feeling our humanity deeply as fear sweeps across the world like a dark cloud. Every time makita na ako ng mga gipang-send diha sa messenger, na napoy na positive, na napoy na yun ani. Makulbaan kita. That's normal. Human beings emotion or else moratag robot dili man wala emotion. Yes. Like the disciples, sometimes we're desperate. Our lives were in danger. Like the disciples, they thought they would perish. Their faith was weak. Weak ba gud atong pagtuo? Kita rin makatubag ana. But remember that in our weakness, or in the weakness of these disciples, they called out to Jesus, and Jesus heard them and rescued them. And so it is with us. In the weakness of our faith, in the chaos of our lives, in the midst of our anxieties and fear, we too can call out to Christ in confidence that He will hear us and will meet us in the storms of our lives. The words of God to us in Isaiah 43 are so beautiful. His promise is this: do not be afraid, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. When you go through deep waters, I'll be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. That is the experience of God's people throughout history and to many of us here today. After Jesus calmed the storm, He asked the disciples the question, where is your faith? Or wala ba kamoy pagsalig? The disciples spent a lot of time with Jesus and saw Him perform many miracles. But it became evident that they had more faith that the storm would destroy them than Jesus saving them. Jesus may have rebuked the disciples for their weak faith, but He didn't abandon them to let them drown. Instead, He calmed the storm and then continued to teach them who He was and demonstrated what it was to have faith in God. My dear friends, there have been many epidemics and even pandemic throughout history, and the same fear and panic the disciples experienced looms over us. Do we have more faith in the pandemic than in the mercy and grace of God? No. There is not a disease that Jesus wasn't able to heal. Let's remember that. God's love and mercy endures forever. I remember a song, part of the song of Laura's story, The Blessings. It says, what if trials of this life, the rain, the storm, the hardest night, are your mercies in disguise? Basin di ay, kaning tanan na panghitabo diha sa ato ang palibot, may be blessings. Mercies in disguise. Na ang mensahe nga igsuon ng Ginoo, alak ka nato niini. Let's try to discover. So for those of us who are currently in the storms of life, the promise of God holds good for us today. If we are persistent in prayer, Jesus will meet with us and meet our needs. And like the disciples in this passage, we will be amazed at His authority in our lives. Remember, God will calm the storm of our lives because God is in control. And so, let's hold on to God's promise, my dear friends, that God will never leave us, even in this time of uncertainties. Amen.
Nadawat nato ang makabuhong nga grasya ug gugma sa Dios. Tubag niini mao nga mahimo kitang panalangin, pinaagi sa atong mga halad pasalamat ug pagdala sa atong mga ikapuho. Let us now give our offering of tithes, pledges, and other gifts.
Kinasing-kasing namong giilaw Dios ang imong pagatiman kanamong tanan. Mabisan taliwala sa mga pagsulay sa kinabuhi, nabati namo ang imong presensya, pagsangkap o pagligon kanamo. Dawata ang mga halad igihatag aron kini makatabang alang sa mga bulaton sa iglesia ug sa kalibutan. Kini ang among pagampo sa ngalan ni Jesus. Amen.
Salamat Ginoo sa paglaom nga nakakanunay uban kanamo sa kalipay man ug bisan sa mga unos sa kinabuhi. Dili mo kami pasagdan. Paduol kanamo higala namong mahal. Aron dili kami malisang kay ikaw man ang nagakupot sa among mga kamot. Gihuptan namo ang imong saad o Dios nga di mo kami talikdan o biyaan, bisan pa unsa ang mahitabo sa among mga kinabuhi. Salamat niini Ginoo. Ug panalipdi o ubani kami kanunay, gisalig na mo ang tanan, diha kanimo. Sa ngalan ni Jesus, nga mong Ginoo, ug among manluluwas. O karon panalanginan, bantayan unta kamo sa Ginoo. Magmaluluyon ug magmahinatagon unta siya kanimo. Kahimutan unta kamo sa Ginoo ug katagan niya kalinaw karon ug sa kinabuhing dayon. Sa ngalan sa Mahal ug sa Anak ug sa Espiritu Santo. Amen. O amen.